This is Note-Taking Guide 1.4 for Math 2 class. We're talking about the zero power rule and the negative power rule. So this first problem right here that we're looking at, the y to the negative 3, we have a rule in our exponent rules that said you can't have a negative power. When we have a negative power, we need to move it down to the bottom of a fraction. I like to think of the negative as the fraction bar and remind myself that it just means to move to the opposite side of the fraction bar. So y to the negative 3 is going to be written under 1, so it will be 1 over y to the third power. And we're done with that one. If we go to this next one, we're really just simplifying our powers here. So we have a negative power here that we need to take care of. That says move me to the bottom of my fraction. But I also have b to the 0 power right here, and b to the 0 power is equal to 1 because anything to the 0 power is equal to 1. So I would have 12a to the 5th times 1, I don't need to show that there, and then c to the negative 5th. I'm going to have to move that to the bottom of a fraction. I don't have a fraction there right now, so I'm going to draw my fraction bar with my positive step on the top, and then I'm going to move my negative to the bottom. When I move it to the bottom, I get to keep it as a positive value. So this would be my solution to that problem. Same thing here, we're just moving negatives to the bottom. So interestingly enough here, let's talk about the power on the 5. The power on the 5 is a 1 and it's positive, so it gets to stay on top of the fraction bar. The s to the negative 4 is going to move to the bottom though as a positive 4, and the t to the negative 1 is going to move to the bottom as a t to the 1. You do not have to show the 1 power there, but it would not be wrong if it was there. Here's another example of the zero power rule. If you notice, we have a whole bunch of junk here raised to the 0 power. Anytime we have anything raised to the 0 power, our answer is always equal to 1. Working back up our page here, we have some stuff right here where we have 5c cubed to the negative 1 power. The negative 1 tells me to move it to the bottom of a fraction. All of this stuff is raised to the negative 1 power, so I'm going to have 1 over 5c to the third power. Then the last problem up here at the top of this other row, sorry, I started at the bottom and went to the top, but here we go. We have a negative power on the a and a positive power on the b, so the b gets to stay on the top and the a gets to move to the bottom with its positive power on it. I do want to make a little point here though, because it was not on the note-taking guide. What's going to happen if I have like a to the 7th over b to the negative 4th? If I have a negative power on the bottom of a fraction, I can't leave it there. Again, that negative right there can represent the fraction line, and it says move me to the other side of the fraction line. So on that particular problem, if I were going to do it, I would have a to the 7th, b to the positive 4th as my solution, because I'd have to move that negative group of exponents to the top. Thanks. That concludes the 1.4 note-taking guide for Math 2 class.